pilgrimage. Just performing these 5 activities can deliver one from the miserable condition of material life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled the Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksha. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpaturubhescha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining this morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam. This verse, Etan Mahapunyam Alam Pavitram Dhanyam Yashashyam Padam Ayurashisham Pranendriyanam Yudhishaurya Vardhanam Narayano Nante Gatiranga Shinvatam. Such a beautiful verse. And this verse is explaining the Falashruti. Falashruti means the merit or the benefit of hearing. Phala is the benefit. Shruti means hearing. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing the scriptures, hearing the different narrations. And especially this verse is praising the narrative of this episode of the fight between Hiranyaksha and Varahadev, right? So this Falasruti or this verse is pointing specifically to this fight between Hiranyaksha and Varahadev. So in this section, we had like few verses starting from the Falashruti is basically last 2 verses, 37 and 38. This is the last verse of this chapter. So in the yesterday's verse, 37th verse, we see that anyone who hears, let's go back and check it, right? O Brahmanas, anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as the firstborn in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of sinful activities. Even the killing of a Brahmana. Killing of a Brahmana is considered to be the most abominable sin, right? But by hearing this narration, who is saying this word? This verse is said by Sutta Goswami to Shaunaka Rishi. So he's saying, Sutta Goswami is saying that by listening to this narration, this is the first verse of Falashruti, or the Falashruti is basically the benefit of listening to something, or benefit of doing something. Especially in this case, benefit of listening to this narration is Falasruti, basically. Okay, so Sutta Goswami is giving a Falasruti, or the benefit of hearing to this narration here, and he uses these 2 verses 37 and 38 of chapter 19. Okay, so this 37th verse is mentioning that by hearing the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, right, what happens? He'll get relieved from the results of sinful activities, and that sinful activities are in varied ranges. The worst, the most abominable sin is killing a Brahmana. That can also be relieved. I mean, it doesn't mean that we all go and kill Brahmanas, but listen to this narrative. That is not the condition here. That is not the I mean, it's just saying that by mistake, if someone makes some kind of abominable mistakes also, those sins are cleared just by listening to the narration. And the next verse, the today's verse is Etan Mahapunyam. Etan means this narrative, right? Shinvatam, whoever hears. But interestingly, Sutta Goswami is addressing Shaunaka Maharshi as Anga, right? Anga, in general, it means it's a body part, okay, or the dearest body part. So Anga, we have seen Maitreya Muni using the Anga word to Vidura also. Same canto 3. And we have seen Lord Krishna addressing Uddhavji with Anga, a word Anga, right? And we also seen that in the same canto, Lord Narayana addressing Brahmaji as Anga. So basically, whenever you feel someone is very dear, whenever you feel someone is very close, like a body part for you, then that person can be addressed as Anga, or in English, it is translated as a dear, oh dear Shaunaka. So instead of saying, oh dear Shaunaka, Sutta Goswami is saying that, oh dear, listen to this important thing. What is this important thing? Shinmatham, whoever listens to what? Ethat. So the first word is ethat, which this narration. Whoever listens to this narration, what will happen to them? Mahapunyam. It's punyam is piety. Okay, Mahapunyam is extraordinary piety, extraordinary merit. Maha is high, more, extraordinary. So Mahapunyam, they'll get Mahapunyam, first thing. Alam Pavitram. Alam means very sacred. What is very sacred? This sacred narrative, this narrative, whatever we have explained, the killing of Hiranyakashipu is a very sacred narrative, right? He is describing this etat, this narrative, which is very sacred. If someone listens, what happens? They get Mahapunyam, they get extraordinary merit, first thing, and Dhanyam, they get a lot of wealth. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada translate that as conferring wealth. So you get a lot of wealth. Dhanya means you get prosperity, basically. And Yashasham, Yashasham means a fame. You get that person who listens this narrative will get Mahapunyam, Dhanyam, he gets very wealthy or prosperity, we can see in them. And Yashasham, he can get the fame. And Padam Ayur Ashisham. Padam means he receives what? Ayuhu. Ayuhu means longevity, a longer life. Okay. Ashisham means the objects of one's desire. So all the desires will be fulfilled. Okay. So Mahapunyam, Dhanyam, Yashasham, Padam Ayuhu, and Ashisham. Basically, he's saying that extraordinary merit he'll get, and Dhanyam, he'll confer with lot of wealth, prosperity, Yashasham, fame, right? And Ayuhu means longevity, long life, and Ashisham, all desires are fulfilled. So this is what each and like most of the living entities in this material world, they look for this kind of material benefits, right? They wanted extra credit, they want to have fame, long life, Ayuhu, right? Long life, and all the desires will be fulfilled. Not only that, the like wealth is given, all this is taken care, and also if they have any desires, those desires are fulfilled, right? Is that it? No. Sutta Goswami continues in the next words, pranendriyam yadi shaurya vardhanam. If you are in a battlefield, let's say, that in that battlefield, that person who listens to this narration, he will have yadi shaurya vardhanam. He'll get pranendriyanam, his prana and indriyas, both his life air and also the working organs. Basically, Srila Prabhupada translates indriyanam to the working organs, like, working organs are the feet, hands, rectum, and genitals, and all those things, the 5 of them. So they and mouth. So all these 5 will be protected with the life air. Okay, and he will have a victory. Saurya Vardhanam. So the strength will be increasing on this. The strength of these indriyas, which are 5 I mentioned, and the prana, the life air, will increase in the battlefield. So in the battlefield, in the sense, like if you're in this material world, every day is a battlefield, every activity is a battlefield. So if you consider, if you're going to work and if you want to achieve some success in the work or success in a project, then hearing to this narration will give that success to you. That is the meaning. Is that it? No, he continues. He still continues. He says that Antegatir, Ante means at the end of life. Okay. Ante, at the end of life, Gatir, Gatihi. So Narayana Gatihi mile, like the Narayana Gati, the shelter of Narayana will be achieved. So that is what we all look for. All the devotees look for the shelter of or going back to Godhead. So Narayana Gatihi. So we'll achieve the Narayana Gati. So who gets all these benefits? The person who listens to this narration will get all these benefits, all the material benefits, and he is successful in his career, he is successful in his activities, and also at the end of life, if he continues. So Srila Prabhupada nicely put this statement here. Okay, devotees meditation, and he says that longevity, so all these material benefits are there if one continues. This is the one. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. So this is the point I wanted to highlight. So this is what is a Falashruti. So we have seen in multiple places that Lord, many speakers, especially the Sukadev Goswami, Sutta Goswami, they come in and they talk about the benefits or Falashruti of different narrations, right? So one another thing of such nature is, I was thinking about yeah, Krishna killing Putana. Right after Krishna killing Putana, Sukadev Goswami narrates this beautiful verse. So what is that verse? I'm trying to look for it. Okay. So Krishna killing Putana, 10:6:44. Krishna says that Yayatat Putana moksham Krishnarbakam adbhutam Srinyashraddaya martyo govinde labate ratim. So Sukadev Goswami is saying that any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, killed Putana, and who thus invites his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment for Govinda, the supreme original person. So Sukadev Goswami, after explaining that such a great, nice Leela of the Lord, right? Putana came to kill Krishna. She wanted to feed Lord with her poisoned milk. Okay, but because Krishna, even though her intention was very bad, intention was negative, intention was opposite, but Lord reacted for her nature, for her act of feeding him, right? And what Lord did, he gave her the position of a mother in Goloka, right? So that is a pastime there. And Sukadev Goswami explains that any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, killed Putana, and who thus invests his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment for Govinda. So just by hearing that part, it's not about only material, but if we want to have a spiritual benefit, then just by, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, Srimad Bhagavatam, read different narrations of the different stories of the Lord and Lord's devotees. So in this Lord's devotees, then will achieve the spiritual benefits. So in the previous verse also, if you see here, 34th verse, hearing about the Lord and his devotees, in the same chapter, what to speak of hearing the pastimes of the Lord? People may take transcendental pleasure even in hearing the works and the deeds of the devotees. So it's not only about the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is all about the pastimes of the Lord and the pastimes of the devotees. And he gives the example of Gajendra Moksha, right? Gajendra Moksha. I was checking this verse here. In Gajendra Moksha, Krishna explains, actually Lord Narayana explains, after killing that crocodile, Narayana explains that he gives a very nice explanation of multiple verses. So the last verse, I don't want to go into all the verses, but the last verse, he says that Emam Stuvanti Anenanga Pratibudhya Nishatyaye Tesham Pranatyaye Chaham Zadhami Vipulam Gatim. He says that my devotee, unto those who rise from bed at the end of the night and offer me the prayers offered by you, I give an eternal residence in the spiritual world at the end of their lives. So Lord Vishnu is telling this to Gajendra, right? He's saying that, oh, my dear devotee, unto those who rise from bed at the end of night. At the end of night means at the morning. So if they wake up early in the morning, at the end of, early in the morning, and offer me the prayers offered by you. So if anyone, so Gajendra has narrated such a beautiful series of verses that is called as Gajendra prayers, prayers of Gajendra. Okay. This is in 8th canto. Please go through them. So in the 8th canto, when Gajendra was put into trouble, when he was caught by the crocodile while he was in the water. So it depends upon the domain, right? Where are you? Are you in the land? Like everyone has their own domain, like like, their home ground or their faraway grounds. So elephant as an animal, his domain is the ground, right? On the earth, not in the water. But crocodile's domain is in the water. So crocodile got very powerful in the water, and the crocodile got hold of the feet of Gajendra. Gajendra was very powerful on the ground, but he got stuck because water is not his domain. So, but then immediately due to the due to the last life, he remembered the prayers of Narayana, and he picked the flower, he plucked the flower, a lotus flower, and offering with his trunk, showing it towards the sky. Gajendra started saying beautiful prayers, Gajendra Moksha prayers. So those prayers, right after hearing them, Lord Vishnu came down swiftly, and he killed crocodile and relieved Gajendra from that pain, and he delivered Gajendra, right? So what the Falashruti, what Lord Narayana or Lord Vishnu is saying here is that, my dear devotee, unto those who rise from bed at the end of night, and offer me the prayers offered by you, I give an eternal residence in the spiritual world at the end of their lives. So that is the power of reading Gajendra Moksha prayers. So this is all what we're saying is the examples of Falashruti. So Falashruti is the benefit of hearing. Okay. So the question may arise, right? Like, okay, we are talking about Falashruti. This is all about like, material benefits. They can get long life, wealth, health, longevity, and all those things. So devotees. So the question may arise that, is it good? I mean, can we attract new devotees with this, or new living entities, or the living entities who are not exposed to devotion with this kind of Falashruti? There is nothing wrong in that, right? Now, Lord himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasresu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschimma vitti tattvataha. So 7.3, Lord says that out of many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection. So not everyone is perfect. Not everyone has the taste for the Lord or taste for the devotion. Okay. So out of many thousands of men, among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people or living entities. Only one living entity may have a chance of getting to know the truth of the Lord. So that means we're talking about thousands and thousands of living entities who are still suffering, and they are all in the material world. They're all looking for some kind of a benefit in this material world. So why not talk about these Falashrutis, right? If you remember, if you remember Narsimha Kavcha Stotra, there are totally 30 verses in that Kavcha Stotra, right? Out of those 30 slokas, 10 of them are 20 of them are talking about, like, Narsingadev, please give me this, give me that, and everything. You are this, so give me this. But last 10 verses specifically talk about like putravan, dhanavan, loke, dirgay, rupajayate, yamyam khamayate, kamam tam tam prapunyote shamshayam. That's the 21st verse, right? Putravan, dhanavan, loke. So you're asking for the sons, you're asking for the wealth. Uh, Yamyam khamayate kamam. Whatever the desires I have, please fulfill them. So these are the like it continues like that. Like next putravan dharman loke dirgha rupajayate yamyam khamayate kamam tam tam prapanyatam ashamshayam. Sarvatra jayam apnoti sarvatra vijayi bhavet bhumyantariksha divyanam grahanam vinivaranam. So we are asking Lord for different activities, different um, um, like the prayers. There's a falashruti. Yes, this is falashruti, and this may attract the material people. There is nothing wrong. That is what nothing wrong to introduce this falashruti and encourage the people or the living entities to hear this falashruti. And at one point they may at the end of the life, like or maybe at one point when it is when they are fructified, when they are about to observe the reality of the Lord, the devotion will fructify just by association, by hearing to the Srimad Bhagavatam narrations. They will certainly go back. They'll certainly get a chance to experience the devotion of the Lord. Okay. So, and also Krishna says that Chaturvida bhajanti mam jana sukretana arjuna artho jignashur artati jnanicha bharatarshava. So these four type of people, Krishna is not saying that devotees come to me. Krishna, he says that best among the Bharatas, so Arjuna. So the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and the one who is in search of knowledge of the absolute, they come to me. They're searching for the absolute knowledge, or the inquisitive, or a desirer of wealth, or the distressed. These four people will come to me. That is what Krishna is saying, that it's not like all perfect yogi will come and they'll also go, but the transformation happens from here, from these four levels. They show some interest. So when that is showed, then they will be transformed to that level of bhakti. Okay. So what we are seeing here is that is it okay to introduce this falashruti and attract the newcomers? Yes, there is nothing wrong in that. And also we have seen that Sri Krishna, this falashruti, we have seen the examples of falashruti, and we and hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam is not very it's not very easy taking thing. It's a serious thing, right? So I was listening to His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. He mentions that listening is so important. Like if there is a hunger person, if a person is hungry, and if you feed him prashadam, he's not going to wait for someone else and he'll be looking directions or just without eating. The moment you give the prashadam, he'll just grab it. He'll just grab it and chow down on the prashadam. Similarly, our inquisitiveness should be in such a way that when there is a Bhagavatam class or when there is Bhagavatam narration, we should be so eagerly waiting to just grasp everything, just have complete focus on that Bhagavatam and listen to that Bhagavatam, right? Listen to that narrations of the Lord, narrations of the devotees, pastimes of the devotees of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord. So that is how we have to do it. So you all devotees are doing it day by day, day after day, morning joining this Bhagavatam class. So yeah, all glories to you all. So you're all joining this Bhagavatam class. So that's what we are joining anyway. So the only one thing we have to do is like focus on it. We're spending anyway 30 minutes. Just focus on the words, focus on the narrations, focus on what Lord said, focus on the each and every verse. So this is a great opportunity our management has provided to us. So we should join and listen. Okay. So that is one thing. And before we close, because this is the last verse of this chapter, I wanted to recap of what we have seen in this chapter. Okay. So in the chapter 18, we see that Brahma requested, Lord was trying to play with Hiranyaksha, and Brahma requested Lord to please kill. This is getting too much now. Then Then there was the last fight. This chapter begins with the fight. Hiranyaksha overthrew the Lord's mace. Lord's mace was thrown away, and Lord overthrew the Hiranyaksha's mace. Then Lord hit him, and the mace fly away also above, and it falls down. So when Lord offers that mace back, Hiranyaksha will not accept it, and he goes with a trident, and Hiranyaksha goes with trident and he fails. Then the Hiranyaksha creates illusions, different types of illusions. So I mean, Lord is Yogeshwara, is a master of Yoga Maya. So no illusions will affect him anyway. So then finally, Lord kills Hiranyaksha. After Lord kills Hiranyaksha, Brahma and others praised Hiranyaksha. Lord Brahma and others praised Hiranyaksha, and Sutta Goswami jumps in at verse 33, and he says that he gives the at last two verses what we discussed today. Sutta Goswami gives the glories of the pastimes of the Lord, and he talks about the Falashruti. Okay, so thank you all for joining. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Madhupati Prabhu, over to you.
Thank you very much, Hari Kishore. We'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. A weekend filled with activities. We are also, quick reminder, in the month of December marathon is on. So please dedicate this month, whatever time you can get, in distributing the mercy of the Supreme Lord in the form of his books to as many people as possible. Okay. On that note, we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Shino Singho, Jaina Singho, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Lingam, Ugraveeram, Vishnu Sarvatomukham, Narsingham, Vishnu Bhadram, Nityam Namamyam. Nrsimha Bhagwan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki. Let's offer our obeisances to all the Asamar Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhairevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Anantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hari. Thank you, Hari Kishore.
Thank you, Hari Kishore,
everybody.
for wonderful class as always. Thank you, Hari Kishore.